Good morning from Okinawa. This morning I set out to do my 7 steps in the Keys, and for my location I chose the shoreline that's right outside my house. This is along a path that goes for several miles. Primarily people walk, or it's right up there. I just stepped down through this little trail. But it goes on for several miles. People run it, bike it, push kids in strollers, walk in the morning. It's pretty heavily used, and it's beautiful because it's all along the water, the entire length of the trail. There's a little city down there, but it's kind of that little trail. There's like a trail goes in there as well. So for my scanning, did you get a little closer to the water? And scanning here we have, I don't know what that is actually. It looks like a lighthouse, but I don't think it is. They have a bridge right here, which will play into conservation biology. The trail is up there. We got some different kinds of trees and grass up here. And there's a full scan. And there's some steps over there that people fish along all the time. The climate right now, it actually feels cool, but I checked before I came out, it's 78 degrees. But yeah, so I think there might be a total, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. So it's 78 degrees, which is pretty warm. It feels cool for us right now because it's super hot this summer and super humid, but it doesn't feel too terribly right now. A little bit humid, a little bit hot, but I'm comfortable in a t-shirt and hoodie pants right now. And also the sun just came up, so that might be the reason why it's a little bit cooler. The topography, well, we're at sea level. So at sea level right now, there's not really much elevation on the island as a whole. Maybe that building over there, but I am at sea level. We're kind of uneven rocky ground right here, and there's the water, like the ocean water right there. This is the East China Sea right here that I'm looking out onto. So I'm in Japan, a little island in the southern part of Trinidad, Okinawa, and this is the East China Sea. For biodiversity, actually my walk over here is some hermit crab, which I'll attach a video of. There was a white egret out there. Let's see. There's some butterflies flying around. You can hear the birds a little bit if I hold still for a second. And you can hear the water lapping, and then all these little rocks, usually like when they fill with water, there'll be little things in them, but I don't know if they're this way. So it's pretty biodiversity, and then when the tide goes down, all the water, so you can see these little rock formations are going to be completely out of the water, and this entire area actually will have no water on it. And so there's all these little creatures and aquatic organisms that are swimming around, and you can see people watch them all day actually out here. I don't know what they're doing, but catching them, taking pictures of them. Oh, there's something moved over there. I realized it went back under the water, but there's lots of biodiversity here, from stuff in the water to the birds, to the little creatures on the land, and then to the little things I saw walking over. And there's just a ton of feral cats as well, not in the water, but they hang out on the sidewalk close to it. And then I guess outside of the water there is diversity in the plants that are along the shore. These, to be honest with you, I don't know what they are actually, but these ones have little budding flowers actually, and little budding, I saw earlier, like little budding, these kind of cool little things. I don't really know what they are though. But there's 3 different kinds. There's some grasses right here, and these ones, which I see those a lot, but I don't know if they're either. Maybe I need to get a little guidebook and look them up. But yeah, tons of biodiversity in terms of the wildlife, the flora and the fauna. And then for ecology, For the interactions we see, it goes back to all the trees. They're interacting with one another, maybe sharing space, maybe fighting for their own space. And the same with the ocean. Like the animals and the little things they eat, and then the birds as well. They're eating. There's another little bird out there now that looks like they're trying to catch stuff in the water. Oh, and then I don't know if you saw that big splash up. All the little fish that splash up. So there's a lot of interactions that we're seeing here, whether it's on land or out in the water, between what everything's eating and how they're living together, or the spaces that they take up. I think it's quite interactive when the tide goes in and out, because it changes kind of how everything looks and kind of how everything interacts. So you have to share that space. And then in terms of conservation biology, obviously there's huge human impact right here. It's a huge man-made trail. So there's a giant bridge, and then the trail just extends. There is a ton of human activity, which I think does impact the wildlife that is seen around here. And there's also a ton of fishing that goes on as well, right on this bank. And I actually, on the way down, I saw some fishing line that I'm going to take with me when I leave, because that could be really bad for any of the aquatic animals like we hear. And there's some littering in there as well. So yeah, there's a lot of human impact. Unfortunately, there is some larger trash. Like you'll find articles of clothing. People will leave cigarettes and beer bottles and cans, which is unfortunate and super sad. But they do. Actually, there's a giant crab in here. But oftentimes they do a lot of beach cleanups. So if we look right here, we actually have a really big crab. I don't want to get too close because I don't know if it's sleeping or not moving. Alright, so he's hanging out. But yeah, unfortunately, the negative human impact is pretty large in terms of fishing and people that use the trail quite often. But I do notice that people are usually good about staying on the trail. But unfortunately, if they don't, there is a lot of littering that takes place. But to counteract that, the positive human impact is doing regular beach cleanups. I don't see a ton of education about keeping the beaches clean here. Also, is in a different language that I don't speak, so maybe that is why as well. Not so much as I see like maybe in the US and European countries, I guess, but it is out there. So yeah, this is my vacation during 7 Steps Media. Oh, it's called a little place called Waha Beach. So yeah.